Let me tell you a story about a long time ago. Me and my family went to a trip. We went to camping to a seaside, like a beach. We had fun. It was just like today, warm, hot. Me and my brother played on the beach for hours, for like days. We built a huge sand towers and with walls all around it, and we even dug up a tunnel so that we can actually crawl through it. We played with our water guns. We saw who could stay underwater the longer. You know, you play the game, everybody, right? We also did wakeboarding. It was really fun. And I was tanned after trip, like tanned, like nobody. I'm tanned really, but it's like times 3 right now. Me and my brother was just like tanned. He's just like here, all white, but all black outside. But yes, one time after we played on the waters for hours, I was thirsty. Man, I was so thirsty. I felt like my tongue stuck up to the roof of my mouth. Just like so dry that it just glued on there. So I went to a tent looking for something to drink to quench my thirst. Then my little brother handed me ice water. And he was not that good kind of brother. That really smelled fishy. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? But I was so thirsty that I could not think about something else, but I just took that cup of water, poured it on my mouth, and just swallowed it as fast as I can. I just gulped, gulped, gulped. And when I did, in that very moment, every cell of my body started screaming, "Dude, that's not something you drink." And then I went, "Bah!" It was ice cold, all right, but it was far from being refreshing because it was salty as like the sea water. And it turns out it was sea water. My brother was pulling a prank on me, and he got me real good. Did that icy water quench my thirst? After I drinking that water, did I get better? Not even close. I was even more thirsty than before. I was so angry and mad at my brother, but I was so thirsty that I could not even go and punch him in the face. I went to get the real water, bottled water, and I punched him after. But yeah, when God first chose the people of Jerusalem, they were in rebels. They were just like any other Gentiles. They didn't know God. They were worshiping false gods. But they were worse than the Gentiles because they were weak and small. No one paid attention to them. No one cared. God compares them to a baby in this way. And he says, one day you're born, no one cared about you. Wow.
No.
Your umbilical cord, you know that cord, were not cut. And you were never washed, rubbed with salt, and wrapped in cloth. No one has slightest interest in you. Wow. No one pitied you or cared for you. On the day you were born, you were unwanted, dumped in a field, and left to die. Man, this is a sad story. But when their nation started, they were so weak, they were so small that anybody else did not care about these people called Israel. They were just laughing. What can you do? To say the least, they had no hopes in the world. They had no hopes. Right from the start, they were doomed to death. Left out and cast away. However, God had compassion. When God was just walking around and saw this little baby called people of Jerusalem, he had compassion on this baby, on these people. So he took care of these people as his own children. He washed them up. He fed them. He clothed them, kept them from all harms. Made them as numerous as the grass on the field. But God's love to them didn't end there. I gave you expensive clothing of fine linen and silk, beautifully embroidered, and sandals made of fine goatskin leather. I gave you lovely jewelries, bracelets, beautiful necklaces, a ring for your nose, an earring for your ears, and a lovely crown for your head. And so you are adorned with gold and silver. Wow. Your clothes were made of fine linen and costly fabric, and you were beautifully embroidered. You ate the finest foods, choice flowers, honey, olive oil, and became more beautiful than ever. You looked like queen, and so you were. Wow. They were like nobody and became the queen. God has given them a lot of good things. Just like what we have learned in our past VBS. What did we learn? That God gives good gifts. God gives good gifts. And just like that, they went zero to hero. They were nothing, but they were everything. Just because they met God. They became mighty, wealthy, famous nation. And all because of God Himself. And you know what this queen does? You use the lovely things that I gave you, all the good things, to make shrines for idols. Where you played the prostitute. Unbelievable. How could such a thing ever happen? They took the jewelries that God given them, gold and silver, and make the idols, melted them, formed them in an image, maybe a bird with the human head. And they bowed to it. Oh, this is our God. He was the one who protected us from the start. He was the one who guided us through here. He was the one who clothed us with all these good things. They took the expensive clothing that God gave them and dressed the idols. They took the food that God gave them and gave them to the idols. The wine, the granaries. They even took their own sons and daughters to sacrifice to the idols. But there's more. Not only did they worship other gods, they turned to the other nations, more powerful nation than God. Once they turned to Egypt for help. When things were looking bad, they turned to Egypt. But when Egypt betrayed them, they turned to Assyria for help. But when Assyria failed them, they turned to Babylonia. Never once they thought about turning to God. The very same person who made them who they were. You know, the more they turned to other things, the less satisfied they were. It was like, just like me. It was like they were constantly drinking water to quench their thirst. But it turns out that water was seawater, salt water. The more they drank it, the thirstier they became. They didn't realize that all the good things in the whole world will not be able to satisfy them. Only God does. The one who gives all the good things. He's the only one that satisfies them. If you ever played the jigsaw puzzle, you know that in order to finish the puzzle, you need every piece in the right place. This will not be complete without this missing piece. Because there is one thing in here missing.
The middle of the...
But the thing is, we all have this missing piece in our life. And no matter how much you pour onto it, you'll never be able to fill this spot. You know why? Because this missing piece in our life is as big as God Himself. And only God can fill this spot. There is no one and nothing greater and bigger than God. You never be complete. You never be fulfilled and satisfied unless you have God peace in your life. So God has given us a lot of good things, right? Just turn, and everything you see is given by God. All the good things. Like God has given to the Israelites. God has given a family, a cozy place to call home. God has given us clothes to spare, a school to go to study, friends to hang out, yummy foods to eat every day. God has given eyes to see, ears to hear, hands to make stuff, feet to go and run and walk. Big mountains, deep oceans, the stars, the universe, the tall trees, tons of animals. We should thank the Lord for that. But we cannot forget that these all good things cannot satisfy us. Even if we have all of them, let's say we somehow possess all the universe. But even then, you will not be satisfied. Have God in you, and you will be complete. Let us pray.